In this video we shall review some Selenium IDE usage samples. For that purpose we have special web application and we want to test it with Selenium IDE. You may easily find this application here, and yes, it's a simple calculator. Yes, everybody hates testing calculators, but nevertheless, you can see that this application has absolutely simple interface, like the first parameter, the second parameter, number of fraction digits, operation to perform, what to do with these values, and the Go button. This is the checklist for this application. Please pause this video, read this checklist and try somehow improve it, and then return back to watching this video. We shall review 5 test cases. Here is the test case 1 for all operations with correct numbers. And yes, for maximum effectiveness, we generate random numbers here. Here how it works with JavaScript execution. Here is just sample for addition, but please create test cases for subtraction, multiplication and division by yourself. Now we shall review this example in Selenium IDE. In this test case, we are testing how our calculator performs the addition. First of all, we are preparing several variables. We are storing the minimum and maximum values for our random numbers. Then we are executing some JavaScript to generate the first operand. And we are printing it to the log. And then we also executing JavaScript to generate the second operator. And now we are printing it into the log. Then we calculate the sum of those 2 operands and also storing it in a variable and printing it into the log. This echo operator is not necessary in real life. This is just for educational purpose and the visualization. And the main logic starts here. First of all, we have to open our page, then we have to fill the fields, click the radio button with the plus sign, choose to save current data for the future operations, and click submit. And then we have to check the result. So we have to find any element which text part contains the value of the first operator, then some spaces, then plus sign, the value of the second operator, some spaces, equals sign, and the sum of the operators. And let's quickly review how it works. I'll go with step over command here. The test was started and here are only calculations with JavaScript, so nothing will change in the application. And now we shall see that the main page of the application is opened. That's okay. Let's see what happens next. The first field is filled with this type command. Let's go further. The second field is filled. Fraction digits are set to 10. The plus operation should be selected. Yes, it's selected. Then the save should be selected. Yes, here it is. Then we shall click submit. You see that the result is here, and now we are checking that result, and yes, the test was successfully passed. And here in the log you may see the results of echo. Just for debug, we see our A value, B value, and expected result, the sum of those values. The second test case is about division by 0 and is expecting such a message. So yes, here we omit random number generation because we need only the divider to be 0 and we absolutely don't care about anything else. Here is the script. We generate the first number, why not, but the second number is always 0. Please rewrite this script, eliminate this random generation. And we now shall see the script in Selenium IDE. In this test case we shall check that while dividing by 0 we receive the following message from the application. Here we are preparing our variables, storing minimum and maximum, calculating the first operand and printing it for the debug. And main logic starts here. We are opening the page, we are filling the first parameter, we are putting 0 as the second parameter, we are putting 10 fraction digits, we are selecting division, we are selecting to save all values after the page is reloaded, we are clicking submit and checking for that message. Let's go through this test case step by step. Here's just some calculations, and with main logic we see that the page was opened, everything is clear here, then the first operand is set, then the second operand is set, then fraction digits are set, then division is selected, then that save is selected, then we send this for processing and we have the following result. But we expecting that message, and so with the last check we see that this test case fails, and that's okay. It detects the error in the application. The application should give us this division by 0 message. But it did not. It only gave us something else. The first test case is about fraction digits and rounding correctness. Yes, unlike with previous test case, this one really needs some more complex algorithms. I may give you a clue. It's about here. But for now, let it work. And for our educational purpose, it may be so simple. But you may rewrite the script with a more complex approach that covers more situations here. And we shall review the script in the Selenium IDE. In this test case we shall check the correctness of the rounding, so we once again prepare variables, putting 10 into the first operand, putting 57 into the second operand, and such expected value into the third variable. Then we store 6 as the number of fraction digits. We may see that 6 fraction digits are here. We print the expected result, and the main logic here: we open the page, fill all our fields, select once again save, click the submit button, and then verify that there is the result of the division. And there is such label with those, let's go up, 6 should be here, fraction digits. Let's run this test case step by step. Here we prepare variables, so nothing will happen, and the main logic: open. Yes, this page is clear, then we fill the first operand, yes, 10 is here, then the second should be 57, yes, 57 is here, then fraction digits numbers should be 6, yes, 6 is here, then we select division, yes, it's selected, then we select that save, yes, here it is, then we click the button. So here is the result. Here we see this result and this label with 6 fraction digits here. So the only thing left is to verify those both labels are on the page. Let's check the first. It's okay, it's on the page, it's about this. And let's check the second. It's okay, it's on the page, it's about this label. The fourth test case is about surprise me value in the next actions. It means that all fields except the next field should get random values after the page is reloaded. The idea here is to submit the form several times, waiting for all necessary fields to change their values. Yes, the script is rather huge, and we intentionally omitted cases A, saving, and B, clearing for your own self-study. So please use this as the basis and write scripts for both A and B situations. And we are switching back to Selenium IDE to review this script now. This is the most complicated test case in our example. First of all, let's overview how should it work in the application. When we select Surprise Me here and let's click, you see that every value of every field should change. Let's do it once again. Okay, another number here, another here, another here, and this operation has also changed. And again, and again, and again. Now we have to check the behavior of the application. We do not have to store or prepare any variables here. We may begin right with the main logic. We open the page, place any numbers in any field. It absolutely doesn't matter. We only have to see that those numbers will change. We select the plus operation, we select Surprise Me, we click Submit. Then we have to give the application several attempts. Why so? Let's switch to the application. Of course, the probability that this and this or this number will change is rather high. But the probability of changing of this radio button is only 75%. So I have 25% probability that this radio button will not change. That is why we have to give the application several attempts, hoping that not only these fields will change, but this field will change too. How can we do it? We create a counter, so we shall give 10 attempts to the application. First of all, we are pessimistic and suppose that the success will contain false, so the test will fail. Then we perform the while loop. While the counter is greater than 0 and the success is false, we execute all those commands with some space here. This is the body of the loop. We print the counter value just for debug. We store old values of the field A, the field B, the field F, and the operation. Here we have to use such complicated JavaScript in order to get the result, because the Selenium IDE does not provide us a simple, clear solution here. Then we click Submit, and then we get a new value of the field A, field B, field F, and that operation. Then we compare the old value of A and the new value of A, the old value of B and the new value of B, the old value of F and the new value of F, the old value of operation and the new value of operation, hoping that in each and every occasion the old value is not equal to the new one. If that's true, we return true into success variable, otherwise we return false into success variable. And here we have to decrement the counter. This plus here is just to convert the counter value from string into integer. Here the loop ends, and then we check that success is true. In the most worst case scenario, all these operations will be performed 10 times. But maybe from the first attempt we will get success here, so this condition will be no longer true, and this loop will finish, and we'll go right to this command. Let's execute the script. We see that the application has opened its page. Then we shall type something into those three fields. Then we shall select plus, then we shall select surprise me, and it's selected. We click submit. You see, something has happened. Then we shall store our counter value and store false into success, and then the loop begins. You see, the condition here is true. We print the counter, 10 attempts left. Then we store all old values of all fields. Then we click submit once again. Let's see, something has changed here. Then we store all new values of all fields and execute the comparison task. Then we decrement the counter. And we see we are at the end point. So from the first attempt, everything went as planned. The fifth and the last test case here, large or small numbers handling. Yes, it may be is the easiest one. We take huge numbers and we multiply them to get an enormous number. So here are our huge numbers, and then we try to somehow multiply them and see what happens. And to other cases, the infinity and so-called machine zero are intentionally left for self-study. Please use this script as the basis and write your own script for those cases. And we're switching to Selenium IDE to review all these in action. Here we need to know variable preparation. So we begin right by opening the page, storing some huge numbers both in A and B field, storing any number in fraction digits field, selecting the multiplication. This value doesn't matter, so we leave it intact as safe. And we click submit, expecting that plus infinity label will appear. Let's go through this test case step by step. We open the page. Yes, here it is, all clear. Then we store those numbers. Yes, done. Then we place 10 in fraction digits field. Then we select multiplication. Here it is. Then we select that save option, and then we click go button, and here we see this label. But we were expecting plus infinity, so when I click this once again, this verification fails. So our application contains a defect, and the test case has detected that defect. Finally, another small task for you. Some of these test cases contain a defect. That defect does not affect the business logic, but still it exists, and that's not good. Try to find it and fix it.